What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Fix this fucking camera angle. Raw TV, make that shit square. I got a question, which I get this question kind of often, and I get it today. I was like, you know what? Maybe I haven't addressed this before. Maybe I have. There's like 1,200 videos on this channel now, so I don't even know what the fuck is up here anymore, what's not. But I know a lot of people don't go through the older videos to find the question that the answer to the question that they're looking for. But I'm not even sure if we fully touch on this to begin with. And what happens is I get these emails from people and they say, Jerry, I'm doing this, and I'm getting good results, but I want to get faster results. What should I do? Should I do this, or this? And, you know, or like, Jerry, what's good results? What would be good in my mind? And first of all, what's good in my mind is not what's good in other people's mind. All right, a lot of people, 2 pounds a week of fat loss is good. You know, me, 4, 5, 6 pounds a week of fat loss is fucking great. I've done it before. I've had clients do it before, but not everybody can do it. You know, it boils down to a couple different things. One of the things being how hard the person's working. You know, everybody out there thinks they work very hard. Everyone out there's like beast mode this and fucking break shit that. But when it comes down to brass tacks, if they were actually in the gym training with me, I'm like, you guys are not training as hard as you think. Now, granted, I think I train hard, but if I go train with somebody like, you know, Dorian Yates, I'm all of a sudden not training hard, even though I thought I was training hard. So, like, it's all relative as to how hard you're actually, hey, bro, you want to get in on this too, buddy? It's all relative as to how much you're actually pushing yourself, coupled with the fact of, what's that? Hang on. You want to make a cameo? Good. It's coupled with what? Genetics and effort, right? Right, okay, so that's what Bruno says. Genetics and effort are the two things that will let you know how, will give you the best amount of results, worst amount of results, whatever the case may be. So you could fucking work as hard as you possibly can and push, but your genetics are just not to lose weight that fast. Will you lose weight, lose fat? Yes. Will you build muscle? Yes. But if your genetics don't allow you to build 5 pounds of muscle mass a month, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter what you do. Now, genetically, I put on muscle fairly quickly when I started training. I had the newbie gains. Now, when I went on steroids, I gained 60 pounds in 10 weeks. That's very abnormal, but it was my genetics to get to that 235-pound mark that I was at. But to get to beyond that was very hard for me to get to. So my genetics allowed me to get to that point very quickly, but after that, very tough to get to. As far as getting lean, I was always very lean as a kid. So getting lean has never been an issue. So for me to drop 5, 6, 7 pounds a week, you know, coupled with the fact that I have a good work ethic, not just based on how I grew up and how my parents taught me to work, but I also wrestled in high school, played football in high school. You know, when you're that young doing those sports, pushing yourself, that carries over to later on in life, bodybuilding, stuff like that. So plus, as this saying, once you've been a wrestler, everything else in life is easy. Like, that's pretty much the saying goes. So you get these people that say, should I reduce this? Should I do that? And a lot of times what happens is if you're trying to get better results than what you're getting already, you don't. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Now, your genetics are only going to allow things to happen so fast. And if you try to push it, your genetics are going to overcome that. It's like the nature versus nurture thing. You're nurturing your body to try to do something. Nature is going to fucking take over. It's going to beat it. A lot of people will lower their calories, okay? And then they realize, well, for the amount of calories I lowered, I didn't get the equal amount of fat loss that should have come with it. They sit down and they get confused as to why. Because your genetics are your genetics. It's not going to allow that to happen. If your body does not burn fat efficiently, genetically, it's going to be harder for it to do. Therefore, it's going to cut corners, literally, when you're trying to burn fat and say, fuck, I can't do this. This is what your body says to itself going on. I can't do this in the amounts that I want to do. And it'll literally burn muscle. As it starts to burn muscle, it slows metabolism. The metabolism slows down faster due to the calorie cut, due to the genetic factor that's included. And next thing you know, you're like, fuck, I reduced my calories, but I didn't get the significant drop that I wanted. What do I do next? Well, what you should have done is stayed with what you were doing. Because if you're making progress, to me, any progress is good progress. When you're stalled, that fucking sucks. That's the only time that is bad. If you're making, what's that, buddy? Is if you're not making progress at all. But if you're making a pound of fat loss a week, a half a pound of fat loss a week, a quarter pound of fat loss a week, then it happens 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row, and you can't budget any more than that, stay with that, okay? Because what's going to happen over time, it may take you longer than someone else who genetically can lose fat faster, but over time, you're going to have lost the same amount of fat if you continue doing what you're doing. The problem is we all want more, faster, and we want it now. So we try to look for that alternative way, and 99% of the time it works. It turns out being worse. You stop your progress. You fuck yourself up. You go backwards. I mean, all these things happen when if you just stay the course, which is very hard to do. It's like anything else. You know, you always think that the grass is greener on the other side. Yeah, but the grass is only greener if you water it. Okay, that makes no sense with what we're talking about. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. If you're on track and you're making progress, stay that way. Just because someone else was able to drop a certain amount in a certain amount of time doesn't mean you will be able to. And it varies all over the board. I've seen people in 10 weeks drop 4 pounds. I've seen people in 10 weeks drop 60 pounds. It just depends, again, on the person, on the genetics, and those things. It depends on how hard they're working coupled with the genetics. Like, there's just certain things you're going to be able to do and not be able to do. And it doesn't mean that you suck. It doesn't mean that you're not as good as the other person. It means that's the hand that you were fucking dealt. I mean, period. It's just like being tall. If you want to be a basketball player and you're 5'1", pretty much you're not going to go to the NBA. There's nothing you can do about it. You can fucking stretch yourself. You can jump up and down. You can fucking work on your vertical jump. You can do everything you want. But genetically, that's just how it is. If you're a genetically obese person, you're one of those people that, like, since you were a kid who was fucking 200 pounds at 8 years old, more than likely your fat is not going to come off as fast as somebody who was a lean, mesomorph type kid who just gained some fat later on and wanted to get rid of it. There's a genetic factor in all this shit. And the older I get, the more I realize how these genetic factors work. Because I have essentially like my dad's genetics. Okay, I have the similar frame to him. My dad was tall and thin. He was lean. I'm not tall, but I had my mom's, in between my mom and dad's height. But basically I had my dad's structure. However, my mom was shorter and actually more muscular than the rest of my family. So it's like I have these genetics to be more muscular and at the same time have that type of frame. So as I get older, I'm seeing this. And again, that's another thing that we'll get into another time. But as you get older, even that changes on top of it. But I'm pushing 40 years old, and I'm still able to drop that 15 to 17 pounds within 2 to 3 weeks that I need to get down to contest shape. Again, that's part of my genetics coupled with the way that I work out, my work ethic, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Couple that stuff together, and that is, for me, I consider what is good. Now, if I was dropping 2 pounds in 2 weeks, I would consider that not good. However, someone else who has not dropped any weight in 10 weeks, all of a sudden they drop 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, that's good progress. Biosafetraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biosafetraining.com is a blog. Good progress is any progress, and we're out.